Alright, I have never been more excited for a DLC pack in my life, and now I finally get to drive it for reasons that you'll just see on the screen right now. So this is the Asphalt Super Late Model pack for SRX the game. For a quick primer, SRX the game is a short track racing sim created by Monster Games and based upon the Viper racing engine, which of course was then used to power the NASCAR Heat games and test drive EVA Destruction. Not only does the game include the SRX cars and the 6 tracks they raced at this summer for their very first season, but it also includes just a random assortment of high horsepower short track cars to kind of flesh out the vehicle roster and make career mode actually quite beefy. So I think there's a dirt late model, there's a wingless sprint car, there's like a Mickey Thompson Entertainment Group stadium truck, and this Asphalt Super Late model, which was released over the summer as DLC. This pack is really exciting for me because while I haven't driven specifically a super late model, I raced a pro/sportsman late model for a few seasons, and this is one of the few times I get to directly compare my experiences in a real car to that in a racing sim. So we're just going to go to one of the fictional tracks that this DLC pack offers. Honeysuckle Grove, which is a third-mile oval based in Wisconsin. We'll crank the difficulty up as high as we can go. Damage is turned on to max. We'll set the race length to 100%. We'll just try and make this as much of a sim as we can and do like a mock proper race weekend. One of the things I really like off the bat, just looking at the car model, is the texture work on this car is immaculate. In real life, these run a front bumper that's plastic, and it develops a lot of scratches over time. Monster Games replicated this, and then the fiberglass side panels, there's like a fuzziness that develops on the wheel wells. That's actually been replicated in the texture work, which just looks awesome. I didn't think the default setup was bad, but I did make some changes. I just maxed out the camber, I increased the stiffness of the rear springs, I changed the shocks all around, increased the track bar a bit, increased a bit of wedge so it was slightly tighter so it wouldn't try and spin out with all the adjustments I made, and I think I maxed out stagger as well. So, early impressions, how does this thing drive? Is it, tolerable? And the answer to that is yes. The series I used to run races in mandated the use of a semi-slick, so there's a lot of throttle control involved, and I've only actually driven on full slicks in a late model for one weekend. And in real life on slicks, the car had so much grip, I literally didn't know how to spin the car out and promptly set the track record in qualifying, and that's actually replicated here. These cars in real life really are just point and shoot. That being said, I did feel like the front tires had just a bit too much authority over the car's direction on corner entry. In real life, because these cars are so asymmetrical, when you enter a corner, the car just kind of naturally falls to the bottom of the racetrack, and your wheel inputs really don't do much other than just fine-tune your trajectory. In this game, it kind of feels like the opposite, where like I do most of my work on corner entry with the steering wheel. The iRacing version of the Super Late model actually exhibits the same behavior, it's just a little more pronounced in iRacing, which is what leads to really ridiculous lap times at tracks like New Smyrna. So yes, I am insinuating that this car is a little more accurate than the iRacing version, but I don't want to stop there. In regards to fresh tire behavior, this car actually gets fresh tire behavior right. The iRacing Super Late model, fresh tires are a death trap for the first lap and a half, and you'll see people just like spinning off pit road. Doesn't happen in this car. Car handles great, as it should on fresh tires. So again, because this is an abbreviated race, we've skipped ahead to qualifying. Track's a little darker, track's a little faster. I've picked up about a tenth and a half compared to my practice speed, and that'll put me 5th on the board, and this kind of introduces one of the strengths of SRX the game, as well as basically any game on the Viper racing engine. The AI in this game is absolutely incredible, and I say that with all sincerity, and it's what makes doing offline races in this game 100% worth your time. It's better than NASCAR 03, it's better than the Codemasters F1 games. The AI don't cheat, they run more or less the same times the player is capable of. They brake and accelerate at the same points. They can run side by side with you, they pick different lines, they weave their way through lap traffic extremely well. When you tap them, they try and save the car before losing it. There's random wrecks that bring out yellow flags, so this race will not go caution-free, I assure you. And it's just a lot of fun. So I'm going to treat this like I'm in an actual car trying to survive a 150-lap race. And this is more or less how these races play out. The guys that qualify up front are usually extremely fast, and guys will kind of work together to get in a single file line and check out from the shitters in the back. But this brings back some extremely good memories. I don't think the sound is very accurate. If you've seen Super Late models live or just any sort of late model, they've got like a weird whistle to them. They sound really, really unique. I think they just recycled the sounds from the SRX car, just to make the workload on the devs easier. But as you can see, great AI. I'm getting passed on the inside, and I've fallen back to 6th place out of 25 cars. There's a couple of different AI options you can tweak in this game. You can set the parity between all cars in the field. You can set like the bunching distance on the restarts. It's very, it's a really good sandbox they're giving you to play with, and it makes for some great racing. And this is, again, more or less how these races play out in super late models. The guys at the front all start running in their own zip code pretty quickly. The big money teams are the teams with a lot of knowledge behind their setups. Really do put this amount of distance between themselves and mid-pack quite early. So we are stuck running in either 6th or 5th here as we try and hold off this green car behind us. And yeah, like, this is what these races look like. Already the leader catching lap traffic, and that's pretty normal at the local level. Not everyone on the grid is professional. You'll have guys who just bought a car off like a Facebook classified ad. They don't have the right setup in it. The engine might be failing. It's an inexperienced driver. It's at this level. It's not, not everyone's trying to make NASCAR. At a lot of different tracks that I've raced at, it's like guys who own landscaping companies, and like guys who just they had some money either from a settlement or they saved up a bunch and they want to live out a boyhood dream. So there's a lot of disparity between the guys running 1st to 5th and guys running like 20th, and this is how it plays out pretty quickly. Again, we're having to really bide our time and get through the shitters at the back here, trying to capitalize on cars getting pinched or blocked by lap traffic. And lap traffic itself is doing a good job of getting out of the way. Each AI, I believe, has their own handful of personality traits. Some guys will, if you get up on a back marker, they will protect the bottom line. You'll be forced to go around them on the high side. Certain drivers on the lead lap, like in the top 5 here, actually we're up to 2nd now, so we're chasing down that gray and orange car in front of us. Certain drivers in this game will be more aggressive at navigating lap traffic, whereas others are prone to getting trapped behind lap cars. So you can do little rolling picks on them. As you can see right now, I'm holding on to 2nd, and this yellow car is really trying to run the low line. He's getting a better run off the corner than I am. But I'm playing just good enough defense to keep him behind me for the time being, but that could change if I just can't get the drive off the corner. And I might have to yield to him here. Yep, he's got a good run. Don't have spotters in this game. Someone else wants to play now. I might fall back to 4th. Trapped behind a lap car. 53 is going to go around him. Again, really good AI. They hunt for different routes to get around. Oh man, and I left the inside there. Looked like a black and white car tried to sneak by and I shut the door. That's more or less what should happen in that situation, where if he doors me at a certain angle, he'll be the one who gets loose. So I like seeing that. Again, the AI is just on another level in this game, and it's a shame that it's being used in such an obscure title like this as opposed to something really big like Forza or Gran Turismo. But I'm not complaining. I love these cars. I like this kind of racing, so it's a hidden gem. .53's line is compromised. You can see I've caught back up nicely here. Trapped behind a few lap cars, but I'm going to get the inside. And we're back to single file again. .128 to go. These races go by extremely quick. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to shudder at doing anything longer than 25 laps because I just didn't have the attention span. But this will not be a long race with 12-second laps. Leaders checked out. We're holding down 3rd, trying to chase 2nd, making a little bit of ground. We, unfortunately, at this rate, will need a yellow to rack everyone back up to have a chance at the leader. But it is what it is. That's how these races play out. Oh, and there is the random AI Rex code in the game, which even the location of the track where the 53 spun out was accurate. If you're going to wreck and back it into the wall, you're going to do it on entry, and that's where it happened. So that looked really good and really realistic. So I'm going to skip ahead to lap 76 here, because again, I don't want to keep you guys here all day. Starting on the outside of the leader, door him going into the corner. Nice little battle here. He doesn't lose it or freak out or jump on the brakes. Again, really good AI. He drives it a bit harder into the corner. This looks awesome. This is exactly what I would see out my windshield. And unfortunately, because it's a one-groove racetrack, we are stuck up high. We're going to get freight trained here. But if I can get a better exit out of 4, I can probably drop down, and I'm going to. So with the yellows that played out during this race, there's a couple that I skipped over. That helped us close the gap to the leader, who's led pretty much every lap so far, that silver number 4 car. And now the fun part is we get to chase down a car on 105% AI strength. And this is just awesome. This is the best part of this game. They run the same line the player does. And in a lot of different racing sims, you'll have trouble where in certain corners the AI, because the AI code is just not where it should be, they'll run a different line. They'll brake at the wrong part. They'll seem to have more grip than you do in a certain corner. That isn't the case in this game. It feels like your braking and your cornering and your acceleration abilities are right on par with what the AI are capable of, and it just results in awesome moments like this. Like, this is what chasing someone down on a short track looks like. You're not capitalizing on, oh, the AI code isn't very good, and oh, in turn 3 he enters too wide. This is what it looks like. I'm going to get on the inside here. And I earned that, you know, I didn't exploit a shitty AI line. I just drove up there all by myself, and he's going to stay right with us, too. So now we've caught the shitters at the back running on, you know, the under-budget teams. And the 4 car is right with us with 70 to go, and actually he's looking inside. Going to set up a pick with the lap cars. He's going to back off a bit. But he's going to run right on their door because he doesn't want to go higher up the track. He'll lose all the momentum on a single groove track. I'll take him on the inside, but he follows me. God, this looks fucking great. And I can't lose him. I mean, I'm really aggressive on these lap cars, which I shouldn't be, and he's just right fucking there. Lap car is going to yield to us. Some cars do, some cars don't. Again, that's very realistic. Yeah, he's going to get on our inside just a bit, give us a little nudge on the door. I'll have to let him go, unfortunately. But I can use this car as a pick, and I'm going to. Yeah, you fucked that one up, bud. He's going to look inside. Oh, that's a chess match now. He's got right up to us. And I got snookered. Oh, fuck. We're good. That to me kind of looked like the right rear went down. Again, some really, really cool AI moments in this game. So we're going to restart on lap 92 again on the outside of the 4 car. He's going to have the preferred line going into the corner, rubbing doors a bit. Trying to stay on with him. Don't want to lose too much real estate from around the high line. Trying to get these big explosive exits and go right to the wall and then arc back in, but that's not going to work. I'm going to get shuffled back to 3rd here probably. 86 car doing a good job of holding us off, but can I cross him over? Nope, not yet. Next corner. Gives us a little bit of a gap, and we have got 2nd place. Drag the brake a bit. Yeah, he's going to fall back. It's going to be between us and that 4 car with about 60 to go. And once again, I'll have to just reel him in with just raw driving, not capitalizing on, you know, a bullshit AI line or him, you know, taking a corner too wide. Just have to reel him in all by myself, and I actually got to his bumper quite quickly. But he's really not giving us a lot of real estate to work with. And again, he's really not gaining or losing us. He's running the same line we are. He's not cheating, not gripped up with grip hacks. None of the sim racing bullshit you have to deal with. Pulled away a bit there. Try and be a bit smoother on exit to get a better drive off. Oh, and he seems to have blown the corner. At his door, drag the brake. Give him a bit of room to work with. And we are by. Look at that. But he is not falling back. He's actually right there. So we're going to have to do a 70s style car chase through lap traffic. Got a little loose off the corner. The tires do wear in this game. You can... Oh, shit. We got another wreck. That seemed violent. Restarting with 10 to go here. Again, don't want to make you sit through the whole race. These things can get boring. I should know. Can we hold off the 4 car? Does he have anything for us? I don't think he does. I think us starting on the bottom is going to be able to check out quite easily. And at this point, it's just putting together a couple of good laps. So I'll try and be as smooth as I can here just to showcase what this game looks like being driven like fairly hard. And yeah, we're putting a lot of distance between us and the 4 already. And you'll notice that too in this game sometimes, is that in between different green flag stints, guys will gain or lose speed. That's similar to something you'd see in the early Papyrus games, not the fully 3D physics engine ones, but stuff like NASCAR Racing 1999 season. There would be major differences after pit stops. I'm not sure if there was random code in the game to kind of trigger that, but it seems like something similar actually happens in this game. So it's a bit of an anticlimactic ending to what ended up being a 162 lap race, and the reason for that is because they actually have the short track code in this game to not count yellow flag laps. So that's how they display it on the heads-up display. Is instead of not counting laps, they just add 2 laps to the race total. Catching up to the shitters again, and this is something I've dealt with a lot in real life. You catch up to guys who are just off pace or don't have the best equipment, and there's a massive speed disparity. I know one of my buddies, Brian, kind of fucked himself in one of our bigger races this year, where he went full send into lap traffic and had the race won and ended up blowing a tire, and that was the evening. And I think he ended up finishing 6th in a car that was more than capable of winning the race. But that's the chess match of short track racing. So we got 2 to go here. No pressure from behind, just get to enjoy passing some of the slower cars. And a really fun race. I think the total time when we get the checkered flag comes out to about 30 minutes. Really nice bite-sized races, and that's about right for real life too. In terms of total race times, in real life, usually caution flags are a bit longer because they got to put down speedy dry. So races will balloon to about 42 minutes in length, but this is about accurate if you never had to pick up debris. Only 3 cars on the lead lap, which, yeah, that's about right. They get pretty boring sometimes. Some great replay cams that Monster Games has offered. Lots of artsy stuff. They've replicated too how like the sheet metal flaps in the wind, which is something they didn't have in the Heat games, but they have here, and it actually looks awesome. Anyways, first impressions, this really is no better or worse than what you can get in iRacing. I think it's more or less on par with the super late model they offer, even exhibiting some of the same quirks, which is just really interesting that 2 different developers came to the same general consensus of how one of these cars is supposed to drive. I just think that the quirks in this are more tolerable to put up with, and again, the AI racing is just spectacular. So I'm really excited to try more tracks and just fuck around with it a bit more.